Coming up on Animal Cops Houston. Big cats causing big trouble.
Get out, get out, get out.
It's very heartbreaking to see animals like this.
It's an emergency rescue on a massive scale.
The animals in the house right now are critical.
And a desperate fight to save newborn puppies from freezing to death.
Hypothermia is what we're battling right now.
Freezing rain for the next 3 hours. Right now, it's only 24 degrees.
Yeah, extremely treacherous, dangerous situations going on right now. Oh yeah, if you don't have to go anywhere, do not leave the house.
It's winter in Texas. And while the city of Houston is in the grip of some of the coldest weather on record, the Houston SPCA is preparing for an emergency rescue on a grand scale.
One thing that we need to do here as much as we can is bring as much cold weather gear as possible. As you know, we have an ice storm coming in.
We also need dog food. Yeah.
Vice President of Animal Welfare, Tara Yerkshat, is coordinating what could be one of the largest seizures in the Houston SPCA's history.
When the call dropped this morning, at that point it's really a matter of gathering all available resources, everybody coming together as a team, which this team is used to doing, but everybody has to play a role.
The Houston SPCA has been called to assist in the seizure of more than 300 neglected animals from a commercial breeding facility.
Call James and ask him to get the forklift and the ramp over to the shipping containers.
We're heading to North Texas, and they are expecting weather down to the 40s, down to the 20s at night. That's a lot of cold.
Reports suggest that many of the animals have no shelter, and some are close to death.
We got 76 so far. Just push it straight in there.
If the team doesn't act quickly, it might be too late to save them.
Come up a little more.
Just was told that there's 25 Chihuahuas. The rest of the animals are going to be large Rottweiler. It's going to be a big seizure.
245, awesome.
Dog breeding is big business, but some operators drive down costs by ignoring the basic needs of their animals. These facilities are known in the industry as puppy mills.
A puppy mill is typically a large breeding operation where animals are seen as breeding machines to pump out puppies to be sold for profit. And profit seems to always outweigh the well-being of the animals.
200 miles north of Houston, the weather has gotten worse. On a hillside in Coryell County, the animals at the breeding facility are feeling the full force of the ice storm. There are more than 200 dogs on the property, some without shelter, many without food or water, and for a few, it's already too late. Lieutenant Butch Ronnie from the Sheriff's Department has served the seizure warrant. The owners are in custody, facing more than 100 counts of animal cruelty.
The owners are already in jail. The Coryell County Sheriff's Office is pursuing more charges as we speak. And it's just a matter of getting everything together now and seeing what else needs to be filed.
At the back of the facility are 2 mountain lions and 2 Bengal tigers. The investigators will need expert help to remove them. But first, they need to take immediate action to remove the dogs from such extreme conditions.
We'll get you out in a little bit. They need to get out of here. It's bitter cold. It's too much for animals that are not used to it. So we have to protect them and keep them from freezing to death.
Of the surviving animals, some are injured, and others are simply too young to handle the harsh weather.
I've been in Texas for the last 5 years, and the weather conditions have never been like this. We couldn't even open up our doors because the temperature dropped to almost 40 degrees.
With more than 200 dogs on the property, the investigators are struggling to know where to start.
You guys think about grabbing some of these and getting them out of here?
Houston SPCA Chief Investigator Charles Jansen begins to coordinate the team.
Farmer, make us some of those rice bags. Start heating some up.
The medical team is set up in one of the trucks, and while they begin heating bags of fluid, the investigators identify the dogs in the most urgent need of help.
They're just freezing cold.
I'm gonna warm up some fluids pretty warm and then give it in his belly.
Houston SPCA vet Dr. Frank Schumann will need to act quickly to prevent the loss of further lives.
What we're doing right now is trying to give them warm fluids, get them on a heating pad, trying to warm up their temperature, because right now their temperature is very low. It's very critical. You know, they can go into respiratory depression and even cardiac arrest if they don't get warmed up pretty quickly. Here you go, guys.
If there's any animals that are deemed critical meaning that the animals are not going to make it to the next few hours, those are the animals we're going to deal with first and get them into a safe environment.
The property stretches more than 50 acres, and many of the enclosures contain newborns.
There's one already dead.
It's frozen shut.
At an exposed corner of the facility, 2 puppies have become separated from their mother and are struggling in the freezing winds. Investigator Mark Lutkenhaus needs to get them out before they succumb to the cold.
The puppies are outside of the doghouse. You can look around and see that we have icicles everywhere. You can see them shivering right now.
The mother dog appears nervous and protective of her other pups.
You're gonna get Mama?
I'm gonna get Mama. You be there to keep her from eating me if she gets past me.
Lutkenhaus knows that entering the enclosure will be risky. He calls Tara and Dr. Schumann to provide backup.
I know. Right by the door. Okay. Open it up. Get the puppies, Tara.
Yeah.
Come on. Good girl. I got it.
There we go. Mom was trying to make a choice as to where she wanted to be, and it's safer for her in her den area. She is being a good mom. She had to make a choice between the 4 or the 2, and she was keeping the 4 bigger ones warm, which is a little bit of survival of the fittest in some ways.
After nearly 3 hours, the animals in the most critical condition have been moved out of the cold. There are more than 20 puppies, including some that are just hours old.
It's very heartbreaking to see animals like this. They're sweet puppies, and they don't deserve to live like this, and they don't deserve to be freezing to death out here in this weather.
Bring the Dodge over here to where we can load the back of the Dodge with crates and bring them around over here. Okay.
While the animals outside continue to struggle in the freezing conditions, Jansen is dealing with a different but no less dangerous threat inside. In cramped cages littered throughout the house, animals with no food or water are living in their own waste. The problem has caused a dangerous buildup of ammonia, a toxic compound which at high levels can be fatal. The local fire department has deemed the property unsafe to enter, but Jansen suspects there are more newborns inside the house. If he doesn't get to them soon, it'll be too late. Coming up, there are more shocking discoveries inside the house.
Go take those to the trailer.
This one's alive, that one's dead.
And the team get more than they bargained for when they come face to face with a couple of tigers. At a puppy mill in Coryell County, the Houston SPCA is facing one of their toughest challenges yet. Hundreds of neglected dogs are struggling in appalling conditions, and many are succumbing to the effects of a freak ice storm sweeping across Texas. Inside the owner's house, dangerously high levels of ammonia are threatening the lives of yet more dogs, and the team needs to take action immediately.
The animals in the house right now are critical. It's unhealthy for humans and it's dangerous for humans. It's going to be dangerous for the animals, so we need to get those animals out.
We can start working on the inside of the house, but I always gotta go get Tyvek up and respirators on.
Prolonged exposure to high levels of ammonia can be fatal, and if there are newborns inside, they'll be in desperate need of help. The team put on respirators and protective clothing and prepare to enter the house.
Y'all continue to offload. Temporarily, we're gonna put the animals in the back of the 48-footer. Okay? Y'all know what we need to do? Okay.
It's already taken a team of 15 people more than 3 hours to get the most critical dogs into the safety of the vehicles, and there are still dozens more needing help. The team enters the house and begins clearing each room.
We're just gonna put this in the doorway, bring one dog in, close it up, and get out of here. Go ahead now.
It's not long before they find what they're looking for.
We're gonna need a doc to look at them. There's some of them that aren't doing very good.
The last Rottweiler that's in the house is actually a mother dog. They're very newborn puppies.
Go take those to the trailer. Let doctor know that we got a bunch more. Get somebody to help you carry this one to where these guys are gonna be.
Okay.
And then get them over United.
Okay.
Dr. Frank Schumann already has more than 20 critical patients on his hands. He's about to get 6 more.
She's got at least one dead one. Let's open it up and let's put these puppies, let's put some blankets in another kennel. Get her to run in with these. This one's alive, that one's dead. We go. You can put those with them. I'm gonna go see if I can do something with this one.
One of the puppies is barely alive. Schumann takes him for immediate treatment.
Hypothermia is what we're battling right now. What happens is when the body starts getting cold, it starts shunning the blood away from its appendages towards the internal organs, especially the heart and in the brain, to try and preserve organ function. If it lasts too long, it can go into cardiac arrest and respiratory failure. So what we're going to try and do now is slowly warm them back up in the belly.
The enormity of the situation is overwhelming. There are animals in critical condition at all corners of the facility, and the team hasn't even begun to tackle its biggest challenge.
You got a game plan now?
There were 2 Bengal tigers and 2 mountain lions on the property. Just like the dogs, they've received minimal care. But removing them will be a huge undertaking. The investigators have called in an expert, Dr. Maud Marin from the Houston Zoo. A specialist in big cats, she'll coordinate the procedure.
And as soon as we're ready and all the equipment's there, then we'll go ahead and cut the gate. And at that point, the controlled access point is going to be through you.
There are no laws preventing the ownership of big cats in Texas, and a tiger cub can be purchased online for less than the price of a puppy.
The tigers are easier to sedate than the mountain lions. To fight the
Dr. Marin plans to sedate the cats so the team can remove them safely. Anesthetizing any animal is risky, and when they're housed together, it presents an even bigger challenge.
We need to dart them both within a few minutes because it's dangerous. If I dart one, he falls asleep, the other one's 100% awake. That's a bad situation in the same area.
Do we want the chicken?
Bengal tigers are incredibly rare. There are thought to be fewer than 3,000 left in the wild, and Dr. Marin doesn't want to make any mistakes.
I think I always do get nervous. They're stressed out, they don't know what's going on. They're difficult to get to. I'm going to try to get the best shot I can, but it's dangerous. You want to try the food? You want to call them and act like you get food? Hey, babies!
So I'll take the nearest one?
Yes. Come here, baby. Yeah, they're hearing you. Thinking about it.
He's looking at me through the corner of his eye.
Keep doing, you're doing good.
There we go.
That's good, that's good. Okay, you're gonna do the one behind the house? Wow, they're big.
The first tiger is out, but now the team has to wait for his companion.
Okay.
We both need to get a shot.
Yeah, the other one's kind of...
Can you get the one in the house? No, eh?
Not really.
Not yet. He'll come out, Okay, you want to get the one to the left? I get the one to the right?
Okay.
Dr. Marin shoots.
Okay, so don't shoot the one I just did.
It's now vital that Dr. Schumann get his shot in, so both tigers go down together.
Yeah, let's move back, guys.
The vets move away to reduce the stress on the tigers.
Sometimes good job. Sometimes we spend that. So now the best case scenario is they both fall asleep and we're good.
Once they're confident that both cats are asleep, the investigators will transport them to the truck. Chief Jansen has called the shelter, and the medical team has already begun preparing for their arrival.
Overall, this is this is a unique investigation and a unique rescue operation to where typically we deal with dogs and cats and we deal with farm animals. But the Houston SPCA does have the capacity to deal with exotics, and we're one of the few shelters in the country that has that ability.
All right, they're both good. If you want to come in and bring the net.
What do you think?
I think you're cool.
Okay. All right.
If I say get out, don't leave.
1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay.
Okay, you're good?
They need to get the tiger on the truck quickly so Dr. Marin can give him a reversal of the drug. But moving a fully grown Bengal tiger isn't easy. Adults can weigh over 400 pounds, and it takes 5 people to carry him.
He's sleeping very well, you guys. You're doing great. 2, 3.
1,
2, 3. 3. Perfect. Okay, that's the reversal. Yeah.
Yeah. Slowly.
Would one of you mind staying here, making sure that he's still breathing? So if he stops, you yell and we'll come back. Okay? Awesome.
While the first tiger is closely monitored, the team returns for his female companion.
Same thing as you did, guys. That was perfect.
I think I can drag her up.
Okay.
She appears to be fast asleep, but when the team gets too close,
Ooh, she reacting?
Yep.
Okay. All right, you get out. Get out, get out, get out. I'll just give him a little more drugs so he can sleep longer. React to that. Okay, we're gonna give her a good 4 minutes. So it's 6 o'clock.
I just need a little bit more sedative. She's very asleep, but not asleep enough.
Careful.
Better safe than sorry.
All right, I think it's time to try. I think she's sleeping pretty good now. Okay, I got the head if you want to get the butt.
1, 2, 3.
Okay.
Oh, he's startled.
Okay, everything's locked, right?
as the team brings the second tiger out, the first is beginning to come around.
1, 2, 3. Okay, we can close the door.
Going down.
While the investigators grapple with the tigers, the vets head back to the rear of the property to secure the mountain lions. The sun's already set, but the lions are much calmer than the tigers, and Dr. Schumann is able to get a clear shot without any problems.
Good job.
Yep. Yes. Just started the last one. We're gonna wait 10-15 minutes to make sure that the injectable actually went in, and then we'll assess from there and see if we can pull him out safely and get him loaded and examined.
Meanwhile, both tigers are now wide awake, and they're not happy. After seizing nearly 200 animals from a neglectful breeder in Coryell County, the Houston SPCA team has returned to the shelter.
Nothing has shifted in here?
In the hospital, the medical staff is set up to receive the dogs in critical condition, while outside, a dozen members of the animal care team face a more dangerous challenge. Houston SPCA President Patty Mercer and Animal Services Manager Isaac Rosario need to maneuver the lions and tigers into a specially prepared holding area.
So I guess it's about 3 o'clock in the morning. We've got a huge team up here, lots of folks who've worked through the night, lots of folks who've driven through the night in order to get here. And it's very cold out here, but you know, we'll get the job done.
Guys ready?
Yep.
1, 2, 3. Hold on. There you go, there you go. You're good, you're good, you're good. Okay, what we're doing right now, we actually have the plywood, so we keep restrictions between us and the mountain lion. We'll make sure we're not getting ourselves caught or getting the animal injured in any way.
Unfortunately, there are too many avenues for people to find animals like this and keep them as, so-called pets.
We're gonna push it in. If you guys could kick that dolly in a little bit.
These are dangerous wild animals. You know, we don't believe they belong in the hands of private owners at all. And, you know, so sad to see animals that have, you know, been subjected to living in such a horrible environment. So, you know, our objective, if we get custody of these animals, will be to put them in a sanctuary.
At the other end of the building, Dr. Cheryl Hoggart and the team have been assessing the dogs. Many of them are sick, and the vets know they're in for a long night.
2 of the 3 puppies that came in have tested positive for Giardia. They have probably some upper respiratory disease going on, as well as internal parasite, which is causing a lot of the discomfort and everything.
We're kind of taking the most critical ones first.
Outside, Isaac is dealing with 2 extremely agitated tigers.
Okay. And they're pretty much saying that they're unhappy right now with the transport. They're being displaced from one location to another. That's a very uncomfortable situation, and they're absolutely expressing it.
The team places boards against the sides of the cage for extra protection. Tigers' claws can be 5 inches long, and Isaac doesn't want anyone getting hurt.
Keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going. Stop, stop.
No matter how many times you see a tiger up close, you are in awe of that animal and its power. And so we're always respectful and have to be respectful of what that animal can do. Our job is to save that animal, but we respect their power.
Same thing, you're gonna push my way and at the wall.
All right,
okay.
Ready? 1, 2, 3.
Go.
Once the cage has been placed against the wall, the team raises the access door, and the first tiger is secured.
One more left.
That gray box over there.
We need to put the puppies in it.
Yeah, and on the heating cabinet.
Meanwhile, in the hospital, the team are fighting a losing battle.
We had a mom and 7 puppies. They were in the cold. One of the puppies actually passed.
We have had quite a few puppies that have come in here with hypothermia, and the moms actually were pretty lethargic as well, and that probably has a lot to do with the fact that they were already ill and the cold weather was exacerbating the problem.
Okay, ready?
1, 2, 3.
Stop. And then we're okay with them together?
They were housed together, so open it up.
Okay.
Outside, the team is still working on situating the big cats. Finally, after a very tense process, the last of the big cats is safely housed. In the hospital, the dogs keep coming in. The team's hands are full assessing and treating each one.
Little girl's been around for a while.
Many are still in critical condition and will need to be monitored closely over the next 24 hours. By the time every dog has been accounted for, it's 7 a.m. It's been an exhausting night, and the team has no way of knowing how many dogs will survive. As the seizure operation moves into its 2nd day, the freezing temperatures are showing no sign of letting up, and the Houston SPCA team still has more than 100 dogs to deal with. Having rescued the animals in the most urgent need of help, the team now faces one final push to remove the older, more resilient dogs. Vice President of Animal Welfare Tara Yerkshat suspects they've suffered a lifetime of neglect.
What's really intriguing about this setup, there are no food buckets in here. And almost every enclosure not only has the latches on the gates, but they're all wired shut, which makes me think that the animals, these dogs, have been fed by dumping food just simply into their enclosures.
When there's cages with no doors, it's a sign that no one has any interaction with these dogs. They don't go in and socialize with them. They have no life. They're not cared for in terms of attention. This is cruel. I mean, it's sad because these dogs can be very nice dogs and very friendly dogs as long as they're socialized.
The team has documented the dogs' living conditions in preparation for a court hearing in just a few days. If the SPCA is to have any chance of offering the animals a new home, it's vital they're awarded permanent custody.
Hey, boys. How you doing? Oh, it's a big boy. There you go.
It's all hands on deck at this point, so just trying to get it done.
Good girl. Nice babies.
Even though most of the dogs appear friendly, the team still has to tread carefully when they enter the enclosures.
I'm ready.
Some of the females look like they've already been bred, which makes them a little bit more territorial. We're getting into the kennels and they're really wanting us to get out of their way.
Okay, so they're not very playful. They're actually wanting to eat me up.
Sometimes, in order to keep everybody safe, you have to use the catch-all. It's a humane way of capturing an animal, but still keeping them as safe as possible. And some of these guys, we've been getting into their kennels or into their territory, and it is their territory.
They work quickly and methodically. And finally, after 2 days in some of the most extreme conditions they've ever experienced, the last of the animals is secured.
Good job, everybody.
Once the dogs get to the shelter, the medical team will take charge. But for the investigators, it's finally over. In the days that follow, the shelter is stretched to the limit as the animal care team works round the clock, feeding, treating, and monitoring every animal seized from the facility. As the cruelty team prepares its case, at the Coryell County Courthouse, finally, they get the news they've been waiting for. Every animal seized from the location is awarded to the Houston SPCA. It's great news, but Chief Jensen's been in this situation before, and he knows the animals are not out of the woods yet.
Whenever an animal is removed with a warrant, the state of Texas has a 10-day period where a person who loses custody of ownership of their animals has a right to appeal. And so the animals are basically in limbo for a period of 10 days. With this status we're in now, if the animals are appealed, then we'll have another hearing, and then from there, we'll have to wait and see what the judge's determination on the next level court is before these animals can be placed into their permanent home.
There's one cougar. Here's the other.
Let me do first move to.
Okay.
If the owners decide to appeal the judge's verdict, the animals will have to remain at the shelter while a second hearing is convened.
I'm not going to go for it right away, so we're just going to give a few moments.
The legal process can last for months, and though the big cats are now safe, Jansen knows they'll be better off in a sanctuary equipped to deal with their special needs.
The lion and tigers, they're in clean and in sterile environments now, and they're in a good habitation. However, it's not ideal by far, and it is a little worrisome because our main goal is to see these animals put in an environment to where they're safe and they're not kept in limbo.
The owners have 10 days to appeal, and all the team can do now is wait. After being awarded custody of more than 300 neglected animals, the Houston SPCA cruelty team has been waiting anxiously for news of a possible appeal.
Good morning, Houston SPCA. Blanca speaking. How can I help you?
This morning, after a nervous 10-day wait, they received the news they've been waiting for. The owners have decided not to appeal the court's decision, and Houston SPCA President Patty Mercer couldn't be happier.
We are thrilled that there's been no appeal in this case, so these animals can start their second chance at life in their new homes, their new sanctuaries, where they will be cared for properly, probably for the first time in their lives.
The team has already found a sanctuary willing to take on the big cats seized from the facility.
All right, well, I'd kind of like to take a peek at him before I make a dart.
The male tiger needs to be neutered before the big move, and they've called in Houston Zoo's Director of Veterinary Services, Dr. Joseph Flanagan, to coordinate the procedure.
Him over there. Every time we do an anesthesia, the cocktail that we use, the combination of drugs, is a little bit different, and every animal reacts a little bit differently to it. So
O2 is ready.
I want to look at the animal and see what kind of condition he's in, where his head is. If he's very excited, we may want to use a little bit more drug.
For Dr. Schumann, the opportunity to work on such a rare and unusual animal is too great to pass up. And he's come in on his day off to help out.
I'm going to neuter him as, in timely a fashion as possible. It's basically the same procedure as you do a tomcat, but he's obviously quite a bit bigger.
Nearly 10 feet long, the tiger's too big to be operated on inside the hospital.
I think we're ready. Let's do it. Let's go.
So the procedure will be done inside the tiger's enclosure.
Does that work? And you can go to town on your end. I'll just do some...
Dr. Flanagan is involved with an international breeding program to protect rare species like the Bengal tiger. But none of the cats seized from the facility will be part of the breeding program.
In cases of pet tigers or backyard tigers, we have absolutely no idea where their genetics come from, and often they're bred without heed to inbreeding or crossbreeding different types of tigers like Siberian and Bengal. So we really want to put a stop to the backyard tiger business. There's no need for more tigers in captivity.
Put one more.
No problem. Don't hurry. We got plenty of time. We do want it to have a good, high-quality life for the rest of its natural days. And by castrating him, we'll give him that. He'll be less frustrated because he won't have that hormonal drive to be breeding all the time, and he'll be able to live happily with a female, and he'll have the social companionship, but he won't have the downside of producing more cubs.
There we go. Just
beautiful.
After 20 minutes, the operation has gone smoothly, and the tiger is all set for the journey to his new home.
We got blood, we got vaccinations, castration went fairly well, and we're gonna wake him up here, and hopefully he's not too upset.
Dr. Schumann has treated thousands of animals since he joined the Houston SPCA a year ago. But he admits he'll remember this morning's procedure for years to come.
Very few opportunities come around where we're able to treat these guys, but taking the opportunity to broaden my knowledge and to broaden my horizons in medicine. But yeah, it was pretty awesome.
His introduction to the world of big cat surgery isn't over yet. Next door, Dr. Flanagan's colleague from the Houston Zoo, Dr. Karen Tushlowski, has a challenge on her hands. Over the last few days, the male mountain lion has begun limping, and the team has spotted a problem on the pad of one of his paws.
We're just gonna sedate the male mountain lion because he has a puncture wound to his left front paw, and he's worked some little pieces of gravel into it. So what we're gonna do is sedate him, take some radiographs, get a good weight on him, and see if we can get all that out.
Even though Dr. Tushlowski is an expert on exotics, she still applies many of the same principles that apply to domestic animals.
Cougars are very similar to the domestic cat, just an extra large size.
Working with exotics on a regular basis, Dr. Tushlowski knows just how demanding they can be. She's glad that the team stepped in to give these cats a second chance. Though not as large as Bengal tigers, mountain lions are no less ferocious. In order to carry out the procedure, the line will have to be darted.
1, 2, 3.
Once the lion is sedated, he's carried to X-ray, so the team can determine exactly how to treat the injury.
We're trying to get those little pieces of gravel out, and to know how much we're working with, we're taking radiographs of that limb to decipher that. Ready? You can see this little pebble, that's stuck in there. So we're gonna try and get it all out. Right now we're trying to fish, a little bit of that foreign object out of the paw without creating more trauma than necessary. Hopefully, he gain full function, of his paw.
They need to open up the pad, remove any gravel, and then flush out the wound.
We're trying to work quickly because the longer an animal is under anesthesia, the more risk it is to the animal that something could potentially go wrong.
The team also takes the opportunity to carry out a routine health check on the lion, vaccinate him against feline diseases, and take blood for analysis.
Okay, we can flush it again.
It's almost time.
Okay.
A bigger one? Trying to be nice.
After less than half an hour, the procedures are complete.
Okay.
Ready to move
I think that's it, yep. All right, so we're done with what we intended to do. He's been vaccinated, has had blood drawn. I've given him a general look over. His pad has been treated, and we're ready to move him back to his enclosure.
The Houston SPCA's adoption team has been busy contacting dog rescue groups from all corners of the country.
I'm going to guess this dog's about 6 years old.
A group from the American Rottweiler Association arrives at the shelter to process and evaluate every single dog seized from the breeding facility.
Very sweet dog.
Just like every other one, just needs some socialization and some food.
Soft mouth. I like that, soft mouth. She'll make a great pet.
Despite concerns that the dogs would be fearful or aggressive, they have great temperaments.
This is going to make a really good pet for anybody. This one, she could go out pretty darn quick.
The story of the seizure has prompted a huge public response, and dozens of people have come forward to offer the dogs new homes.
We've been having transports come in almost every day to take them out all around the country. These dogs are now in about 25 states.
It's amazing what the team here has done with so many dogs so quickly.
Counting all the puppies, the numbers rose to about 270, and now we're down to 23. So it's really been amazing.
Happy trails!
Today marks the end of one of the team's most challenging cases. And the start of a new chapter in the lives of 4 exotic cats rescued by the Houston SPCA. After the life of confinement at the hands of neglectful owners, the mountain lions and Bengal tigers have arrived at their forever home, the International Exotic Animal Sanctuary in Boyd, Texas.
Go. Take me to Zanzibar's.
The sanctuary was set up 20 years ago as a refuge for abused or abandoned exotic animals, and more than 50 big cats call it home. Vice President of Animal Welfare, Tara Yerkshat, has come along to witness the cat's safe arrival.
Well, we're unloading our first lion. It's a female. She's been the most distressed, so it's probably best for her to get into her enclosure first.
Okay. Okay.
She's ready to get out of there.
Okay, go.
Very relieved. She's gonna need a couple minutes to relax and smell all the other cats, but she's much happier right now than she was 2 minutes ago, so.
Okay, babe, you're home. Go your way, to the left. All the way out, buddy.
The male lion isn't quite as confident as his female companion,
Hi, hello.
but after some gentle encouragement, he slowly enters his new enclosure.
He's checking it out. He seems pretty sedate. He's pretty calm. I would bet he stays in there for a little while, and then he probably will come out and explore when we're all gone.
It feels great because we know that they're going to get a great, outstanding home here for the rest of their lives. You know, each one of these animals come here because they had a poor life. And once they get here, they're going to have a quality of life like they've never had before.
With the mountain lions safely housed, the team turns their attention to the tigers.
Makes your hair stand up a little bit. You can still feel the vibration. I don't care, you know, if you've been around them 20 years.
The female is stressed and anxious to leave the confines of her cage.
She's just nervous, you know. This is all new. She's been hauled all day long. She's been sedating. She's in all these people surrounding her. You know, she's doing good for this. All right, let's go.
Come on, beautiful.
After scoping out her new enclosure, she decides to remind the team that she's no pussycat.
Holy moly.
Okay, drop it, drop it, drop it.
3 down, 1 to go.
I'm probably about 130 beats per minute or so it's starting to come down a little bit. An animal as powerful as that is, and it can kill you so quickly, you never should get complacent working around those animals.
This is a really happy ending for all the animals involved. They're on grass. I mean, how wonderful is that? You know, they've given them all sorts of enrichments. They've got ledges, they've got toys, they've got pools. This is fantastic.